Brandon, you've been covering what's been going on with this particular issue. So what did you learn in Bentonville tonight?
Paige, the big takeaway is that the justices of the peace did approve the funding proposal for how they would pay for this jail expansion project. It's a massive overhaul. We're talking about not just expanding the jail, but we're also talking about building mental health care facilities. We're talking about other things that the sheriff's office says they need to address overcrowding at the jail and other things that were brought to light during the pandemic. But it's not going to be cheap. Total price tag, we're talking about $240 million. Now, how they would fund it, it's a bit complex, but essentially it boils down to a 3/8 cent sales tax increase, something that voters would ultimately vote on in November. Now, some of the justices of the peace proposed instead a 1/8 cent sales tax increase instead of 3/8. But here's why Justice Tom Allen says he considered that but could not support it.
The 1/8 cent sales tax is not going to pay for what we needed to pay for. And what I'd hate for us to do is to go to the voters and push forth the smallest tax increase just because we think that's the smallest tax increase during a critical time. I'm living in it as well. We all are. But the mistake that we don't want to make is that we underfund it.
Now, the justices ultimately did approve the first reading, which includes the 3/8 cent sales tax increase. But there were also people there that spoke out against it, suggesting there are alternatives to that expansion of the jail system. Now, one of them was John Comstock. He is with the Arkansas Justice Reform Coalition. He says that many of the people that are in the jail right now, they are actually just awaiting trial. They just don't have the money to post bail. So he suggests waiving those fees for nonviolent offenders, saying that that would allow them to be free until their trial, which actually then therefore free up the needed space.
These folks still have to be held accountable for the crime that they're charged with. That accountability still has to be there. We're not trying to evade that. We're just saying between the time of arrest and the time of conviction, what we call pretrial detention, that's when liberty should step in. And these people should be given their liberty, just like any of us that can pull money out of our billfold.
So we see people both for and against this proposed criminal justice facility expansion. But as I mentioned, the first reading went through, and that does include a proposed 3/8 cent sales tax increase, Paige.
Okay, and you know, Brandon, many voters and viewers who decide on this in November may want to know what exactly a 3/8% sales tax increase looks like. Can you explain that a little bit better?
Yes, one of the financial analysts who was overseeing this project explained it like this. If you go to the grocery store and you spend $50 each time you do that, your bill will be 19 cents more because of that tax increase.
Okay, that's good perspective. Also, what happens next with the funding proposal, Brandon?
Well, the first reading approved tonight. They will have a second reading next month. The final reading in August. They also have to put out a notification in the local newspaper. Now, if all that goes off without a hitch, we will see that ballot proposal in November for the general election. We're reporting in Benton County. Brennan Evans, 4029 News.